On today's Locked On Thunder podcast, who are the X factors for the Oklahoma City Thunder? Did the bracket break just right for them? And what are the expectation level for the Thunder?
You are Locked On Thunder, your daily Oklahoma City Thunder podcast. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Let's get it going on the Locked On Thunder podcast on the Locked On Podcast Network, your teams every day. I'm Rylan Stiles, host of Locked On Thunder, beat writer for Thunder on SI, and joining me today, Andrew Schlecht from the Down to Dunk podcast, the athletic, the media luminary, Andrew Schlecht. How you doing today, Andy Pods?
I'm doing great. Thanks for having me, Right Guy.
Thanks for coming on, and it's playoff time, so we've got to run back our crossovers and discuss what's at stake. Andrew, Thunder have won 68 games. They're the best record in the NBA, number one seed in the West. They're the title favorites in terms of odds. What are your expectations for this Thunder team?
I expect this Thunder team to make it out of the Western Conference, is what I expect. I mean, this is clearly the best team in the West. They have the least amount of questions about their team heading into this. I think that the opponent in round one is breaking right for them to have some rest, I would say, in between round one and round two, if all goes well. And you look at every other team in the West right now, like this Nuggets Clippers, like that could go that's 6 or 7 if everyone stays healthy. Lakers Wolves could be really tough. I think Rockets Warriors as well. I mean, all of those could be coin flips. Like who knows what is actually going to happen and what everything is going to look like outside of what's going to go on with the 1-8 matchup with OKC. So it's looking good for them. They are fully healthy going into the playoffs, which I think is super key for them. I think that was always going to be the question as they went through this whole season, where you initially miss Hartenstein and then Chet goes out for a long time and Caruso is in and out the entire season. And you just wonder, like, okay, are they going to have the luck that they need injury-wise? And it's all hit just right. Even AJ Mitchell, who I don't think will play in the playoffs, is back. And so really they've got their full squad. I think that they're ready to really attack this. And, you know, there's not really many excuses for them, you know, if they don't do it. So I would say, yeah, getting to the NBA Finals, which feels crazy to say that they're going to be in the NBA Finals, that we'll have Finals Game 1 in Oklahoma City. But I do think that, you know, if everything goes the way we think it will, that is going to be happening in June in Oklahoma City.
Yeah, I would agree. I think the only thing that makes it sound crazy is how young this team is and how fast they've ascended, but they're here. It was a weird road to get to this point in the sense of being healthy. Like you mentioned, what they've had to jump through to get healthy, but they are healthy and they have the best, deepest, most talented team in the league. They've executed better than any other team in the league, and they've been able to take care of top teams in this league. So they should go to the NBA Finals, and it should be a very fun summer. And once you get to the finals, anything can happen. I think that them winning a championship certainly on the table, but at least take that step to the West Finals and winning the West Finals. That would be a really, really good step forward for this young Thunder team. You mentioned the Nuggets and Clippers series. Is it safe to assume that you agree that the number 8 seed, now that the Warriors are playing the Rockets, really irrelevant? I mean, it's very hard to sweep, so you might give the other opponent a game, but the Thunder should be able to take care of their first round opponent in like 5 games.
Yeah. How about 4 games?
How about it?
I mean,
go for a back-to-back season sweep.
If they play the Kings or if they play the Mavericks somehow, or if you play this kind of hobbled version of the Grizzlies when Zach Edey is a huge contributor for them, I mean, I think they should sweep all of those teams, to be honest. You know, like that's where the talent is when you stack it all up against any of those squads. I mean, you think about Memphis. Like Memphis they lost 4 rotation players, 2 to injury, 2 to salary dumps. Like you just think about ripping 4 rotation players from any team, let alone like a team that truly could not afford to do that. Like that, you need to have quality depth through 8 or 10 in the playoffs. Now, like your top 5 guys they matter the most, but when you're the Grizzlies and you made all the deals that you have, and then you lose 2 guys to injury, I mean, it's tough luck, but then also it's like poor planning on their part. And so I think that they honestly, I think that Thunder and 4 might even be like the most popular pick for everybody across the board, no matter who it is of these 3. Certainly, if maybe if it's Memphis, it's Thunder and 5. But if it's Sacramento, like they're mowing over that team. If it's the Mavs, they're mowing over that team as well. So I think that it's a good opportunity to see where you're at, to sharpen the blade, as they like to say, but I don't think it'll be any more than that. I think that they have earned the number 1 seed, and they are getting the prize for the number 1 seed.
Yeah, they're certainly getting the proper reward now with this play-in tournament shaking out the way that it has. And Memphis, like they're the best team of the 3 remaining, but the next time that this group of Grizzlies win a big game against a good team would be the first time that they've done it. And so it's hard to count on that now. Not that they're going to get blown out every single game, because they have been able to take good teams to the wire, but they've just not been able to win them. And this Thunder team, you would trust way more to be able to end the series in quick fashion. And that sets up well, because then you're eyeballing 4 days of rest. If that Clippers-Nuggets series goes the way we think it will, of 6 or 7 games, no matter who wins, you get the rest on both the front and the back end, and then head into round 2 with a lot of confidence for a team who's trying to make it toward the NBA Finals. With this series schedules coming out yesterday, though, were you shocked at all that the Thunder, playing teams that were saying that they should sweep, got the ABC treatment in game 1 and do not see an NBA TV game in the first 4? Meanwhile, one of the best series Denver and the Clippers do.
Yeah, absolutely. I did not expect them to get that spot. I thought that they would be getting the maybe like late afternoon, maybe the late game even, I thought. Some of that was wishful thinking, because noon on Easter Sunday is not ideal for me personally. We're going to make it work. But yeah, that's not ideal for a lot of people in OKC celebrating Easter that day. But yeah, totally shocked by that. I thought surely, especially, I mean, it could be Sacramento. This could be Kings Thunder on ABC. Poor Domas Sabonis is just going to get baptized himself on ABC on Sunday. I mean, like that is not something you want to see. I think that you're hoping, if you're the NBA, you're hoping that it's Ja Morant versus SGA. You have like Jaren Jackson against Chet. Like you have these like bigger name matchup here. Like you have these couple all-stars here. You have, I mean, everybody knows who Zach Edey is just because he's a giant. Like you have names to talk about, but boy, if it's this sad Mavericks team somehow, or if it's this sad version of the Kings, yeah, I mean that we could be looking at blowouts, and really in any of these circumstances, I think that could be the case for game 1. But certainly, I think the Kings trying to defend the Thunder is going to be a pretty sad state, I would say.
Yeah, the personal preferences aside, it is interesting that the league office and the powers that be with the TV executives and stuff pick the Thunder to be the ABC draw of their exclusive broadcast. Even though in the first round you are allowed to have regional stuff, you can't do it on ABC games. So it's all Thunder. They're the headline of day number 2 of the NBA playoffs, and it's not at all their opponent getting the draw. It's just that they want to put this Thunder team in front of eyeballs. And from a basketball standpoint, they're even sacrificing the fact that it's probably not going to be a good game 1, because whoever wins on Friday night will have to go from playing a 8:30 tip Central Time in Memphis to a noon tip-off Sunday with travel involved as well. It's the closest thing you can get to a back-to-back turnaround in the playoffs whenever back-to-backs aren't allowed. Like, that's going to be rough. And that could lead to some sloppy play. That could lead to a huge Thunder win in game 1 and really set the tempo for what this series will end up becoming. But to do that, the Thunder will need some X factors to shine in the postseason. We're going to get to who the Thunder X factors are coming up. But first, Andrew, I want to tell you about our good friends over at Skims. When I found out Skims was making underwear for men, I was intrigued. I've heard so much about their quality from friends and families, so I had to give it a try. Let me tell you, Andrew, I'm talking to you right now through a pair of Skims.
Is that
It
true?
lives up to the. It's very true. It is very true.
Okay.
And it's wonderful. So much so that even after I got the free pairs, I bought more because it's all I have in my drawers now for my drawers. It fits, it's comfortable, and it's got the right style. Whether you're a boxers or briefs kind of person, guess what? It moves in all the right places. It nestles you. It cradles you in all the right ways with Skims. Check them out today at Skims by shopping Skims Minute, skims.com/LockedOnNBA and Skims stores. Let them know we sent you. After you place your order, select podcast in the survey and click our show in the drop-down menu box that follows. Also want to tell you right now about our good friends over at Game Time. Go check out Game Time today because Game Time is wonderful to get tickets, and you're going to want to get tickets to the NBA playoff games, including Sunday in OKC. After service, come on over to the raucous environment of the Paycom Center with every bucket, every defensive stop, every moment feeling huge. It's electric in the arena. We can attest to that, and Game Time is going to be part of bringing that to you and taking the stress out of last-minute ticket hunting. Perhaps you finished your activities early and realized you can make it to the game. That's where Game Time can come in because they have last-minute tickets, lowest prices guaranteed. Save up to 60% off buying last-minute tickets for sports, concerts, comedy, and theater. All-in pricing, meaning there's no surprise fees at checkout, and you can make sure that you're getting exactly what you pay for, and you see the prices right up front. So take that guesswork out of buying tickets with Game Time. Go download the Game Time app today. Create your account. Use code LOCKEDONNBA. $20 off your purchase. Terms and conditions apply. Again, create your account. Redeem code LOCKEDONNBA for $20 off your first purchase. Go download the Game Time app today. What time is it? Game Time. And they're very versatile, just like the Thunder. You can get Frank Caliendo tickets in Lawton, Oklahoma. You can also get Game 1 Thunder tickets at Game Time. Go check it out today at Game Time. We're back on the Lockdown Thunder podcast on the Lockdown Podcast Network with Andrew Schlecht, host of Down to Dunk, the athletic OKC Dream Team. He's just the podfather. He's just the best to ever do it. Andrew, X Factors. X Factors are a big deal. Every year we see a team that goes on these deep playoff runs have supporting cast members get the lead billing of the storylines once it's all said and done. Who's your number one X Factor for the Thunder?
I think it's Alex Caruso. I think that he's going to be, one, he has championship experience for them. I think that he is going to be trusted in closing moments of games to be out there. And I think that he makes such a big impact defensively. And the question is, is he going to make his threes? That's the question. Because we know he can move the ball. He's a good passer. He's a guy that can make a quick decision, but is he going to make that corner three when the ball hits his hands? I think that's the biggest question that needs to be answered for AC. But I just think that he's somebody that's going to be trusted. And he's somebody that has been, whether or not he is actually playing in the game, he's somebody that is coaching all the time. He's essentially been like a player coach for them all season. And so I think that they need a guy like that because looking back at that Mavericks series, there were just a lot of guys that you're just kind of looking down the bench. It's who's ready for this moment. And I think if you had a guy like Alex Caruso, I think he's in the game, no question, last year. And so I think that we'll see that. And I think that he's somebody that if you get into a close series with Denver in round 2 or with the Clippers, or if you're in the conference finals against the Lakers, I think that AC is going to be on the court. And so to me, he's probably the number one X factor for me.
Yeah, I would agree. I got to talk to Alex after practice today for a story for Thunder and SI Friday. And I think that the intangibles that he brings to the table are all there to really help this team win the playoffs, from his defensive prowess to his leadership ability and his kind of even-keeledness for a young team trying to become an anomaly. That's really the only thing that people can poke at. It's just they haven't done it before. And so getting swept up in the emotions of the playoffs could still happen to this young team, and his ability to ground them will be huge. And if he's hitting his threes, then you've tripled the value of Alex Caruso, and it really helps navigate these playoff waters for a team that last year kind of faltered in that way of hitting their threes and keeping the offense in rhythm against Dallas in a very tight series. I mean, the point differential in a 6-game series was 0. Like if a couple threes go down, we talk about that series completely differently, and a lot of things change with the butterfly effect of it all. So Caruso being able to step up and hit those shots would be big in his own right. I would say the X factor would be Caruso, would be take your pick of Cason Wallace and Isaiah Joe on a similar vein, just hitting their threes. What do they do when the ball gets swung to them? How hesitant do they look? How willing do they look to shoot the ball? And for both of them, as we've seen them progress as offensive players and defensively, Cason's been stellar, like all defensive worthy type of player. And Joe has made massive strides defensively. You feel pretty good about them on that end of the floor, pretty good to elite of them on that end of the floor. But offensively, they've both been able to grow their game in the sense of driving to the rim, playing off the catch, which is all going to be valuable in the playoffs, but they have to hit their open shots that they can that they get. And Isaiah Joe this whole season has been working on kind of generating more repeatable looks in the playoffs of coming off Hartenstein screens and all the different wrinkles. So I kind of have those two guys tied together as an X factor of just, can you see a 3-month stretch here where they're just on fire from 3 and they're really helping this Thunder offense stay in flow?
Yeah. Is Lou Dort an X factor, or is he just a factor?
That's a good question. I think he's probably just a factor, because it's like, like you feel like what you're going to get with Lou, and what is it's just going to be inconsistent. Of like, it's going to be big game Lou. ABC is not exactly the ESPN letters that Chet was talking about, but ESPN is on all their stuff when they're on ABC. So like when he sees ABC, when he sees a big game, he can go 5 for 7 from 3. You can also go 1 for 8 from 3. So like, I think that you bake him into the cake in a different way than you bake in, say, Shai or Chet and J-Dub. You just bake in the fact that, hey, you're going to get the Lou games. What can you do outside of the Lou games? What can you do outside of the Chet and J-Dub games? Because you're always going to get the Shai game.
Yeah, I think that's fair. I was having this discussion with Trey Kirby the other day of No Dunks about what is a factor and what is an X factor. But I think that Lou is like similar to like how we think about like Serge Ibaka back in the day. You know, like I don't think he's necessarily an X factor. I just think that he's going to be a factor in every single game. But like there could be games where Isaiah Joe misses everything and he's just like a non-factor. But like I don't think that will be the case with Lou. Like he'll play. He's going to play a lot. So yeah, I'm with you. I think Cason Wallace is going to open up a lot of eyes in the playoffs this year. I think that a lot of people that have watched the Thunder understand how good he is and the potential. But like I think we're looking at like what could be like the first like real casualty on the roster, because I think that a team would offer him a lot of money. Like I think he's a starter. I think he's a guy that could play for every single team in the NBA. I think he'd play a lot for several teams. I think if he was, let's say he was on the Warriors, oh my gosh, the Cason Wallace just hubbub would be out of this world. People would be talking about him all the time. Like people talk about pods all the time. Like I think that the way that he can perform defensively while also being a factor offensively, I think people would just love him. And so I think that he's one of those guys that, you know, is going to open up some eyes. He's going to have some big games and some big moments. So I look forward to kind of seeing him break out in year 2 in the playoffs.
How do you evaluate Aaron Wiggins in a playoff setting where we know what he's capable of offensively? He's put together a fantastic offensive season in his role. Defensively, I think he's a better defender than he gets credit for, just because he can defend guards really well, but he himself has admitted how he's still uncomfortable sizing up. It just so happens that with the way the team's constructed, he has to size up a lot, which then puts him in positions defensively to look bad because he's defending guys that are bigger than him and that play a different position than him. And so then you wonder, well, what series, what matchups, what games can you get away with some of his defensive limitations, and what's the cost benefit of maybe you, even in a series where you admit he's not as good of a defender, but his offensive value is so high. Like, how are you approaching Wiggins with this postseason?
I mean, he's their 6-man scorer, and he has been for a while. since basically February. He's been their sixth man. I mean, he averaged 18.7 points per game in February. He had that 40-point game, which still just feels unbelievable that actually happened. He averaged 13.5 points the month of March. In April, he was 15.8 points per game. Some of that is these last few games where there was not a lot going on for the Thunder, and Wiggins was just the designated scorer for them. But he has become a very good scorer. And I think that there is a lane that's opening up for him to become like the sixth man for the Thunder in this era. And so is he able to put that together in the postseason? I think that we just need to see it. He didn't really do that. He did it in one game against the Mavericks. He was very good, but then he really didn't impact the game a whole lot after that. And so when you are the sixth man, a lot of the reason that you are is because of consistency. And so can he put that together in the postseason? There's a lot of questions about this Thunder team. I think they have enough guys, though, to where if like he doesn't step up, I think it's probably okay, because I think that maybe you get something from Isaiah Joe or Cason Wallace or Alex Caruso or Hartenstein could put up, a big double-double for you. Like it's not like they have to have it from him. But if we're talking about like a top-level outcome for him, is that like, yeah, he's averaging 13 points off the bench for them in the playoffs, and he's a guy that they go to, every night, in tandem with J-Dub whenever Shai's off the court, and he's able to contribute. So I think that that's kind of where, like, what you hope to see from him. But, playoff basketball is just different. Like, it just is. And, like, some guys have it and some guys don't. And I don't think that it's fair to analyze anybody on the roster to say that they don't have it at this point because they're so inexperienced and so young. But, Wiggins is a guy that I can see, like, really stepping up and, like, helping them win a series.
Coming up, let's talk about winning series. Let's talk about predictions. Let's talk about more X factors and how this Thunder team has changed from a year ago. First, Andrew, you have kids. You need to really hear this because I know that you guys are gamers over there in the Schlecht manor. Did you know that your Fire TV is also an Xbox?
What?
Turn any TV into your game and entertainment hub with
true?
Fire TV Stick 4K devices. It's completely true. No console required.
What are you talking about?
You got to try it. You grab a controller, you grab and pair your controller, you subscribe and sign in to Xbox Game Pass Unlimited with EA Play included, and you're ready to play on your Amazon Fire TV 4K with no console. You can play EA Sports College Football. You can play Call of Duty. I love college football. You know about my Tennessee Dynasty, Andrew. I won 6 national titles already. No big deal. You too can go win national titles on EA Sports College Football 25 just from your Amazon Fire Stick 4K device because it has the latest technology with Wi-Fi 6/6E and auto low latency mode at advanced technologies. Fire Stick TV 4K. It delivers you a smoother, more responsive gameplay with lightning fast speeds to help you stay competitive and connected. Check it out today by going to Amazon.com/Fire TV Locked On to get started. Xbox Game Pass Unlimited subscription and compatibility controller required. Available on select devices, including Fire TV Stick 4K 2nd generation, Fire TV Stick 4K Max 1st and 2nd generation, and Fire TV Cube 3rd generation. We're back on the Lockdown Thunder podcast on the Lockdown Podcast Network. Your teams every day. Here to talk with Andrew Schlecht, the podfather himself from Down to Dunk. Andrew, when you look at this team, so much has changed in 1 year. Not the seeding. The Thunder are still the number 1 overall seed.
Yep.
Like last year, we were talking about Gordon Hayward. We were talking about Josh Giddey. We were talking about a completely different rotation. No backup center. This year, it's Hartenstein. It's Caruso. It's a rotation that is so chocked to the gills that it's hard to pin down. Who is Mark going to play Sunday? Is there a chance that we're overthinking this? And it's like so much has changed from last year that last year is almost irrelevant. It's like, this is who this team is. The 68 wins, the beating teams by double digits, the historic marks that they've put out. Like, this is who this team is. The Dallas stuff or whatever in the back of your mind isn't really going to turn up in this playoff run.
Yeah, they're dramatically different than they were last year. Even just the level that Shai and Dub are at. is just a dramatically different level. Let alone like Cason Wallace, like we discussed. Aaron Wiggins is a much better player. I think Isaiah Joe is a better player. You have Alex Caruso, like you mentioned. You have Isaiah Hartenstein, who is going to help them in so many ways. You can play. That's the thing about the Thunder last year is that they had their fastball with Chet at the 5. They had the curveball of playing small, but they really didn't do it because they didn't play Kenrich in the playoffs. And so they didn't even really use it. But now the options they have, you have the double big lineup. You can play with just Hartenstein out there. You can play with just Chet out there. You can play with Jay Will out there, who I think has become a much more trustworthy player. You can use Kenrich at the 5 and play these wonky small ball lineups. Like you can do just about anything. You can play with J Dub at 5. They've done that multiple times this season. I think a blessing in disguise for the Thunder was these injuries that happened this year forced them to get these like elongated looks at what's going on with the roster and what is possible with this team. And they know. I think they know. And they're going to go into the playoffs being one of the more versatile teams in the Western Conference. I think you look at the teams that, probably Thunder fans fear the most, like the Lakers. The Lakers don't have that many looks to throw at you. They really don't. I think they're a lot like the Thunder last year, where they have this fastball that is pretty scary. But when it comes down to it, the playoffs are so much about adjustments from game to game. And, I think we also need to see like Mark make those adjustments on the fly. And I think that they were too slow to make adjustments against Dallas last year. And I think that with experience, I think that you just get more confidence, I think. And I think that confidence is going to not only permeate through the roster, but I think through the coaching staff as well, with regards to making those adjustments. And not only I think they're going to feel more comfortable making the adjustments, but they just have more looks to go to. And so, yeah, this is a dramatically different team. I think the biggest difference, though, is like just the age of the roster being a year older, these guys having more experience, the top level guys being more experienced, I think is like the number one thing. But then the changes that you made, like you don't have to go into a series wondering like, can they play Josh Giddey, a guy that's going to get targeted over and over again? Like imagine playing with Josh Giddey against the Lakers on this roster. I don't want to dog on Josh Giddey, but when you make Josh Giddey a 3-and-D player, you ask him to do the two things that he is worst at on the roster.
Yeah.
And to be like this connecting piece from the wing that no one's guarding, where you're doing these cross matching and like, I mean, you can't do it. And so you don't have to worry about that anymore. You don't have to worry about, can we get Gordon Hayward to actually just look at the rim? Like he wouldn't do that last year. And so you don't even have that. Like you have everybody pulling on the same rope. There's no questions about the roster going into the summertime. If they do flame out in round 2, all these guys are coming back, So they are very, very different than they were in that Mavs series. And also just the sting of losing, it sticks with you. Like you either learn and grow and evolve through your failures, or you get stuck in them. And this team, I do not believe, got stuck in those failures. I think that they sincerely wanted to learn from them. So yeah, anytime you're trying to make that comp from last year to this year, it's, there's a lot that goes into making this team different. And, Presti did a great job with it. Mark did a great job. And then individually, each player, like, can you name a player that hasn't gotten better from this year to from last year to this year? Is there like one player that hasn't gotten better?
I mean, I don't think so. I mean, like even Oos has gotten better, just in a very limited way.
Let's talk about Oos. Bring up
Oos.
Bring up the Oos man.
What a time, the Oos man oozing out here on Lockdown Thunder. Andrew, if you play your cards right, you could really become like the guy that fills out 50 brackets in the NCAA tournament and then picks his best winner. Because you've been asked this on a billion pods, but I got to get your official Lockdown Thunder NBA playoff predictions.
Yeah,
who's going to the NBA Finals? Who's winning the NBA Finals?
Oh my gosh, I said at the beginning of the year I thought it was going to be Thunder Celtics, and I picked the Celtics to win, and so I'll just stick with that.
How many games, Andrew?
Let's say 6 games.
Okay. Now, what's their path though? Is it Denver Lakers? Is it?
I haven't honestly. I have not like really spent the time yet because I want to know who they play in round one. I want to kind of dig through all of that. So I don't have it all mapped out quite yet. I mean, I could just fake it right now.
Yeah, fake it. I'm no stranger to people faking it on me, Andrew. Let me tell you that for free.
I'd say they beat Memphis, they beat Denver, and then they beat the Lakers to go to the finals.
Wow, murderer's row. Andrew Schlecht ready to knock them all down.
That would be great. It would be so good for this group to play those teams, just because of the names that are involved. Because I do think that would be very challenging to have to beat Ja Morant, Jokic, LeBron, and Luka. Honestly, like if they do that, I think they're winning the finals. You know, like if that is the path, and they beat all those teams, I think they're winning the NBA championship.
It's going to be fun, Andrew. It's going to be really fun. Let them know where they can find all your great work on the bazillion different podcasts that you host.
Yeah, go check out the Athletic NBA Daily. That's the one that I would send you to. I host the Saturday Slam and Jam on that one with Alex Spears every week. Super fun show that I hope that you'll listen to. But the Athletic NBA Daily is it's a 20 to 25 minute show in your feed every single morning that just catches you up on everything that happened in the NBA. So go check that out. Listen to Down to Dunk. Go check Rylan and I out on the OKC Dream Team show as well. Patreon.com/OKC Dream Team. If you like this combo, you get to hear
this combo a lot on the OKC Dream Team. So make sure you go check it out. And tonight, you can go back and listen to it. So last night, we ran through our trivia on Down to Dunk. So a little double dip action on Down to Dunk as well.
Check it out.
Hopefully I won, Andrew. I'm just going to manifest it right now. We don't know. It could be anyone's ball game.
We'll see what happens.
See what happens.
Hopefully there's some Elvis categories for you.
Oh, I'm dying. I'm dying to know what the other categories are. Because if there's one thing I know about the Deborah Buckets Trivia Hour, it's that Al Baby Cakes cooks up the most unhinged but fun extracurricular categories. I can't even imagine the reaction to the other crew members if that was a category. But you have to go see. We don't even know yet. You have to go find out for yourselves out there listening. Again, Andrew, I appreciate your time today. Until next time, be good. Be good to one another.